Hello class. In this video we're going to do another example of radical equations looking for extraneous solution. Okay, we're going to look at this problem right here, which is x minus 6 equals the square root of 18 minus 3x. Once again, extraneous solution, if you don't know, from our previous video, is an answer that does not work when you plug it back into the original equation. I also call it a false solution. So let's go ahead and get started with this particular example. In the first step, okay, the first thing you always want to check to see is if you can isolate the radical. And in this case, this radical is isolated or sitting by itself on this side of the equation, so there's nothing else to isolate. The next step is to get rid of the radical. So let's go ahead and do that. Since this is the square root of 18 minus 3x, we want to square that square root, to get rid of that radical. But whatever we do on this side, we have to do on the other side of the equation to keep it balanced. Now once we've done that, we have effectively gotten rid of this square root on this side. But this side, if you look, you have x minus 6 squared. Now literally, if you write that out, it's basically going to be x minus 6 times x minus 6. That's what x minus 6 squared is. And on the right hand side, since the radical is gone, we're going to be left with 18 minus 3x. Okay. Now the next step is to let's resolve this multiplication here using FOIL, okay, because I have a binomial times a binomial. So we're going to multiply these. So we're going to get, basically we're going to get an x squared, and we're using FOIL. For those who don't know, that's another video. Okay, and this would be minus 6, another minus 6, and plus 36 equals 18 minus 3x. Alright, so we've done FOIL on the left side of the equation. We're given this polynomial, and what we're going to do now is we're going to combine the like terms. So here we've got a negative 6x and a negative 6x. We combine them together. That's going to give us a negative 12x. Okay, the others don't have anything to combine with, so they're going to stay the same. X squared stays the same, plus 36 stays the same. So all we've done is we combined negative 6x and negative 6x. Alright, on the other side, okay, there's nothing to combine either. So now if we look at both sides of the equation, we've got like terms on either side of the equation, but they're on either side of the equation. So we want to bring them both, we want to bring all of the terms to one side of the equation so that we can combine all the like terms. This is the easiest to move, so I'm going to move all of this to this side of the equation. To do that, since I have a positive 18, I'm going to subtract 18, okay, from both sides. And I'm going to align it with the like terms that's on the other side. And over here, since I've got a positive 3x, I'm going to add 3x, okay? And I'm going to align it with the like term on this side also, so I'm going to say plus 3x on this side. So now, on my right hand side, I'm going to have a 0, okay? And on this side, 36 minus 18 is just going to be 18. Negative 12x plus 3x is going to be negative 9x, okay? That's a plus 18 because of positive. And we're going to have x squared here. So now we have a trinomial that is a quadratic, and to solve this problem we can either use a quadratic formula, or I prefer factoring. So I'm going to go ahead and factor this using a is equals to 1 factoring. Once again, it's another video. We won't get into that, of course, but let's go ahead and factor this using a is equals to 1 factoring. And let's see here, we get 0. Okay, so now we're going to look for two numbers. When we multiply them together, we're going to get 18, and when we add them together, we're going to get negative 9. So the numbers that I found, or the two factors that I found, is going to be a 3 and a 6. Okay. So 3 times 6 will give us 18, but 3 plus 6 will not give us a negative 9. So we have to make both of these negative. Alright, so now this works out. And of course our variable's an x, we'll put an x right here. So now we have two factors when we broke down this polynomial. And the next step is to just basically solve for x by setting each one of these factors equal to 0. So let's go ahead and do that. X minus 3 equals to 0. The other one is going to be x minus 6 equals to 0. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and do this side. It'll be plus 3, x equals 3 over here. And over here it's going to be plus 6, and this will be x equals 6. Okay. So now what we have is we have two answers. And once again, we're going to check to see if there is an extraneous solution for these answers, since we have two. If we have one, we know that it's going to be an actual answer, but we have two answers, so we got to check to see if there's an extraneous solution. Now to do that, we're going to plug in each one of these numbers, this value of x, back into the original equation. Now the original equation was x minus 6 equals the square root of 18 minus 3x. Alright? So let's go ahead and plug in some numbers in here. So let's go ahead and try the 3 first. X minus 3, when x is equals to 3. Alright, so we're going to plug in, wherever there's an x, I'm going to plug in a 3. So it'll be 3 minus 6 equals the square root of, okay, it'll be 18 minus 3 times 3. So on this side, this becomes a negative 3. And on this side, we get, let's see, 18 minus 9. Is that correct? Yes. On this side it stays at 3, and on this side we get the square root of 9. So negative 3 equals to 3. Okay. In reality, that's plus or minus 3, but either way, right? Okay, it would only be half right, which would be wrong. So technically, this is the extraneous solution. So the 3 is the extraneous solution, because a negative 3 is not equal to a positive 3. So by deduction, of course, we know that this is going to be the answer. But let's go ahead and run that through our equation. All right. So that's going to be it's going to be 6 minus 6 equals the square root of 18 minus 3 times 6. So this side becomes 0, and on this side we get the square root of 18 minus 18, and once again this is still a 0. Okay, the square root of 0. 0 is equal to 0, which is true. Okay, so this is our actual solution. So our actual solution is x equals to 6, and this is our extraneous solution, which is the false solution. Extraneous. Alright? Now if you have any questions about any portions of this, you can just rewind, pause, do whatever you got to do so you can figure out how we've solved this problem. Thank you.